Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome finally to the video in which we start our resource-moving aircraft, our transport vehicle, which honestly won't be the most practical, but hopefully will be a lot of fun. Now, the idea with this is when we move our base, rather than simply putting all of our resources into those blocks, in which some resources are going to be left behind, instead, we could load all of the raw chunks onto a huge aircraft, which then gets to the new location, we rebuild the base, and then simply offload all of that resource to the new location. It's kind of silly. It's going to be horribly inefficient because of how big this build will need to be, but I think it's going to be really, really fun. Now, the very first question I have is how well can the silos hold on to resources when the craft is moving at, let's say, a decent pace? I don't think this aircraft is going to be really, really quick, but it will likely be fast enough that some of the resource holders might have a bit of a tough time moving around with it. So, let's get some resources onto this thing, and let's give it a quick test. Because I need to know how I'm going to build the main body of this thing. Are we going to use silos, or are we going to have to use some of these? Now, the venture stuff, I believe, specifically says it can hold resources at a quick pace. Now, I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure I've read that before. You know, there we go, yeah. It takes tightly even at high speeds. Now, the problem is this one isn't good for building this type of build, so that's pretty much out. So maybe it is between GSO and GeoCorp more so than the rest. There we are, a little assortment of items. So now we're going at 64, and already that looks like it's a bit strained. That's worrying. I was hoping to see less of an issue there, but yeah, they're not dropping off, so that's clearly no problem. How about if we speed this thing up a bit then? There we are. Now at 81. Okay, still nothing being dropped off. After this, we'll have to test out thrusters. Near 100, and okay, I think it's not going to be an issue then using the silos. Lovely. And finally, just because it'll be fun, yeah, no problem at all, and we're probably not going to go that fast. Excellent. So now we can get to building the craft. Since I want this to be quite a large craft, I think the bulk of it needs to be Venture. Venture is incredibly light. The problem is, the colour scheme of Venture is very striking, so it doesn't blend as well with the other groups, unlike all the other groups. Even GeoCorp has an easier time hiding, so don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, well, to begin with, let's build the center. So it's going to be a row of these. So my basic idea is this. If we just do this for a second, so I can just showcase what I want to be talking about. There we are. So at the back here, outside of the plane section, I want to have the input. So that's going to be some of these, the resource receivers, because these will grab from pretty much everything else. But the problem is, they also just don't let go very easily, so once we get to the location, we can't use these to give up the resources. So over on the other side, after it's all been pushed down to the front, we need something to be able to drop off the resources, and an easy thing to do there would be to have a filter, have that filter on nothing, but then when we get there, turn it to on, and then have a dropper. There we are, the dropper there. Now, we could just have it so that we have something here like one of the collectors. Where are you? If I can find you, that'd be fantastic. There we are, the collectors, because the collectors will give up to these. At least I think they will. Let's prove that. And then we attach this. And yep, the collector will give up to the silo and any of the receivers. So we could have this on the end. But I like this idea, just because I've not really used the dropper before. I love the idea of this thing just landing, activating, and then just throwing the resources at the new base. Now, I know I don't need to do it like this. I know this is inefficient. I am fully aware of that at this point. But I love how this is going to look. If we stagger it like this all the way down, I think it gives off the false impression of a sort of conveyor, with the silos themselves being the mobile conveyor element, rather than just having the conveyor feed all the silos. I kind of like perhaps just the back two silos being fed and then those feeding forwards. Because we're going to use a pacemaker, we don't need this process to be really, really quick either. And honestly, I know this is going to sound weird, but I kind of want to make the craft larger than it has to be, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit underwhelming. I want this to look and feel like a proper carrier of something, because we could easily compact this, especially since you can have two silos on top of each other when you're mobile with minimum issue. Probably no bigger than this area. And that's just no fun. So I may as well make it look how I want it to look, even though I am going to horribly lose some efficiency by doing so. So I'm thinking perhaps leave a gap here, so we have two of these, like this. Yeah, I love how that looks, it just looks like a track. And then maybe we have a gap of two here, then have another row of these, and that goes all the way down the craft. Probably have some spare space for everything else. Okay. Okay, let's continue with that. Okay, going to put a filter here, so we can control the income. There we go. And now you can just turn on. Where's the pacemaker? We definitely need a pacemaker on this thing. Look how it jumps from one to the other. That's pretty cool. Goes all the way over here. Currently filtering nothing, but then we want to unload all the stuff. And there we go. Back on the floor. Excellent. And because I've used these as well, these aren't able to grab. Maybe I should have a smaller collection section. That sounded weird. But yeah, maybe a smaller area here, rather than the thimble. I was going to call it the nimble thimble, but it's not the entire craft. So yeah, this works. Once this is filled in, which won't take long at all, then all of these will fill from front to back, and hopefully we'll have the entire collection sorted once we get our base moved. Now, how many sections does our base have? It has one for each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 16. So we can only hold 16 full, but we never have half of these raw ones. So yeah, we'll be fine. This is more than enough to move the base over. Though I am tempted to perhaps add a little bit more just in case. No, this will be fine. This will be okay. We can always add more later, but it's extending this section. So now we need to figure out how this thing is going to be built around. Obviously, this is not the finished product at the front or back, but we just needed to make sure it worked. That sort of looks like an air raid shelter. No, that's not going to work at all. Maybe it needs to be more flat along the side. Then have these more as support struts. Have the wing come out here, probably on top. Yeah, maybe that's the best then. If we have this flat, so we can have the wing on top, then break through. I've kind of been looking at this for the last 5 minutes. I'm not good with these big builds, especially when I've got an idea for the overall shape in my head, because I just not am good at doing that, or at speaking, apparently. Now, one thing I'm thinking about is the overall balance of the craft. Should we have it so it's nice and level, or should we have it so it does tip upwards slightly? In other words, it pitches up, it's a little bit back heavy, or the lift is a little bit high on the front. The reason is, I can't see this thing getting off the runway very easily, and Terratech is pretty bad for having obstacles everywhere. So I'm thinking a very slight incline, which will drive some people mad because, well, all of my craft have the exact same thing, because I just find it easier to fly and it's much easier to land. Although I really don't want this thing to be able to turn incredibly quickly. I think it'll just kind of break the look of it. So how about that? Here's the problem with Venture. They're not completely flat, and I really don't like that. But I do like the colour scheme, though, so I think... yeah, let's continue like that. So I'm thinking is now we use these not consistently, but broken up. I am also not sure if I want the back here open or closed. If it's closed, we can't see the resources inside, but it will look a lot neater and make a lot more sense. If it's open, we can see the resources, which will look awesome when this thing's completely filled, but it will look a bit more ramshackle. But I do like my ramshackle builds. I don't know. I also don't think this is going to take one video on a side note. Either way, let's continue. Also, how much further am I going to bring this thing out? So, if we're going to add a tail, I think it's probably going to be about here. So, bring it out to there. Then have the main wings here. So, wings, tail, control section, any weapons on the underside. Probably won't have any weapons, but just in case. Wheels, I might attach to the wings, have it sort of as separate modules. Then movement, I don't really know where I'm going to put that. I think probably just under the wings, or we could have it down the main. Ooh, we could have hidden propellers on the inside. That way we wouldn't have to have as much on the outside, so we can make it look a bit more natural. I don't know. Here's something I didn't even consider. Are we building the wings out of wings? I know we should do, obviously, but are we going to build out of these? Or are we just building it out of normal blocks and then using these maybe in the center? Kind of want them like this as well. Angled. So these don't really lend themselves well to that. So maybe around the edge. Ooh, what we could do is, how about we have something like this? Where are you? There we are. That again, that there. Then we just need something here to make the angle. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Well done. No. What I wanted is... yeah, that. That looks really, really obvious I've built it in that way. I guess we could just use these. So... come on, go the correct way. Then fill that in. Do the same again. So we're getting all of our lift from these center ones, which do thankfully lift still. But I don't like these. I don't like having the regular blocks there. It's, once again, really obvious. But maybe it won't be too bad if we have quite a few of them, because then that red line will sort of follow where we're going. I don't really want to mix too many of the groups. If I can stick with just Venture, that will make me very happy. Ah, the tail wings sort of work. Okay, let's have a look-see at GSO. Are any of these any good? This seems very similar to the tail wing in size, so... oops, there we go. I quite like it, but I think I'll happily stick with just this. Now that works out better. Ooh, perhaps a combination of both. Don't know. Maybe these? Maybe. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the end. What I'm thinking with the end is maybe we have a section with propulsion actually in the middle of the wings. I think I'm going to have 2 or 3 layers of these. And then make the end a bit more blunt than I originally wanted it to be. Just to make it look a bit different. Okay, enough waffling. Going to do a fair bit of building now and come back once I've decided what I want it to look like. Now that I really like, although one worry now occurs to me. We're going to have so much lift here, it's going to be a bit difficult to balance. This really needs to be the middle of the craft. I may move these wings a little bit back, or extend all of this middle section a little bit forwards, and then have somewhat of a heavy front on this thing? Still don't know. Still don't know. Now, I've seen so many carriers over on the workshop before, and I'm purposefully closed it all down right now. It's certainly not a novel concept. But the ones I've seen, which actually look good, have the wings more middle, more realistic, like in real life. The, you know, to say, person carrier. Yeah, that's what they're called. Lathrix, get some sleep. What about something like this? Then we have one more layer of these sticking out, and then we can place them behind as well. Now, I've got this middle section, because otherwise it looks like it's really hollow and there's nothing really to this bit of construction. Could end the wings here as well, and then make them pull back a bit sharper. Like this. I really don't know. I'm at that point where I'm looking at this and I'm not sure the direction I'm going to go. Though to be fair, I've been saying that from the start, and maybe it's because I am suffering from chronic insomnia at the moment, and, well, I'm on less than 4 hours of sleep a day, so my mind is even slower than usual. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yep, that I really, really like. Now, we could round it out a little bit more using the corner blocks, but that's stuff for later. Right now, I just want the overall shape sort of sorted. If we can do that before the end of the video, I'll be surprised, but incredibly happy. Now, the question is, do we need any more of these? These are going to go all the way back and then a little bit further than the wings, although the wings aren't quite done yet, mind you, but still, going to go probably about to here. We could have another engine section here, and then just have the end with the sharper wings going straight down. So it kind of angles the wing like this, then that. I'm very good at describing things clearly. You can tell I'm doing this for a living. So, this seems reasonable. Yeah, not quite airborne yet, gotta be honest. Well, this is gonna look awesome at least. And goodbye to you, and goodbye to you. So, what I think we need to do is make this part here, the main body, a little bit thinner. This can remain as it is, but rather than have the outer section on this block, we're going to put it one further in on both sides, and that should make it look a little bit more, I don't know, in proportion. At the moment, the wings look a bit too stubby for this craft, but I don't really want to make them much bigger than this, because then we're never going to be able to land anywhere. It's already going to be difficult to use in the game. I don't want to make it impossible. Well, that's something at least. Obviously not keeping this scaffolding, but still. Then we could have two on the side like that. Though I feel like that's more... I don't really know. It just doesn't seem to fit how I'd like it to. Maybe we could have it coming out of here and have this section getting a little bit thinner just before this happens. Because right now it looks way too chunky at the back. So I've reached a bit of a problem now when it comes to the design. I've been messing around for a while and can't quite figure it out. So what I would like is the wings here at the front to sort of curve back in on themselves here and meet to another flat section there, and then do the same at the back. Hopefully the mouse is big enough for this video, but still. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I think maybe we could use some of the other wings. And the idea is, perhaps have a different colour on the back to make it look a bit more, I don't know, just to make it pop a bit more, because right now it is sort of blending in together, and it's very difficult to see what's going on. Or, we could just flip the wings we already have. Not too certain about this part. Aha, maybe I've finally cracked it then. How about something like this? So it goes at an angle, and then, if this works, I'll be so bloody happy. Oh, that does not look as good as I thought it would. Darn, I was hoping that would go a little bit further. Okay, I didn't want to do this, but let's have a quick look-see at GSO. Nope, that is too small still. How about these ones? That is just about right, isn't it? Darn it, I really didn't want to use much GSO. We were already using the propellers from GSO. I wanted a more venture build for this, but yeah, that's going to work. And actually, it looks like it would work both ways really, really easily, wouldn't it? Of course it would, because that's what I'm trying to avoid. So naturally, it would be the one which would work. Also, obviously, we should use the right one there for the front. There we go. Yeah, that works. And if we continue like that, we can very easily make that shape. I quite like how I've done that on the front, though, so maybe I'll just leave it... Maybe what I'll do is I'll leave it only for the back sections, so at least then it makes one half of it pop and the other half blends, and that'll make it look a bit more distinct. Maybe? Definitely going to leave this video a while. So what I think I'm going to do is do a bit more, get this video edited and uploaded, see what people say in the comments and their suggestions, then continue. I'm not a person who normally tries to make things look realistic in the slightest, but also I'm not particularly good at making big builds look good. So I am struggling a bit here. Happy enough though, we are getting there, Enough of my negativity. Sleepy Lathrix is a bit of a downer over Lathrix. I clearly haven't taken my joy today. How is that balanced? Well, that actually flies. Didn't dare try to get it any higher up, but yeah, it does have just about the right angle and just about the right amount of lift. That works just fine. Turning is awful right now, but saying that, we haven't finished the back section or half the stuff anyway. Okay, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Really want to complete the back section and at least shape the front. Then I'll be happy. Also, yeah, need to redo this. So I guess the input's going to be there now rather than right at the back, and the output is definitely going to be past the wings, maybe here, just to make sure it's easier to use. Turning on the spot's okay though, because of all these propellers, and then when we have proper wheels and stuff, that'll be much better, rather than these tiny little ones, which aren't even symmetrical currently. Oh, don't worry. I can see 4 symmetry errors right now, though some of them I think are hidden a little bit, so maybe I can't see them, but I know of their existence. And there's probably more. Oh yeah, we need a much more pronounced tail section for this thing to turn properly. I'm thinking perhaps 2 or 3 wide on both sides, maybe 2 wide, going up and slightly over the other wings, just to help it turn less like this. Still, considering it's empty, I think it works okay right now. Definitely going to need more propulsion though, I've massively underestimated that, so let's see how we glide. Should glide okay, realistically, we have so many wing sections. Yeah, that's fine. And there we go. Accidentally turned the turbines on at the end there and moved backwards, but ignoring that last little section. Okay. Okay. Let's get to work. I think this build tops all of my other builds for me being uncertain about myself with almost every single decision. Ooh, but I do like that. Okay, well done me. You actually have built something you like. I might knock out this one then to extend these 3 all the way down, because that looks a bit weird. Even with that connecting in, I just don't think it looks right. Honestly, I don't think that looks right anyway, splitting them. Maybe we could have one larger one in the center. No, actually, I do like them split like that. Don't know if that's the correct thing to do. Also, I keep on hearing like a clicking noise. What's currently moving? And, well, I think something's stuck somewhere in between the plane, and it keeps on clicking. You probably can't hear it in the video, but in my earphones, it's really weird. Oh, it's you! Yeah, it's all these. Okay, good. I'm not going mad. Excellent. Another day, another me not going insane. Of course, one can't really go insane if they've already reached it, but still. But still. Once again, the GSO section fits perfectly, and it's kind of annoying. Tried to avoid it so much, but yeah, if we used these from the start, probably would have had a much easier time. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Yep, that does work out. Then if we fill this in, I think that'll look okay. Let's have 2 of the larger sections there. That might look a little bit better. Also, I've always been using the right one of these. Is there any real difference when they're mounted like this? Can't see any, no. The size looks okay. Could do with a bit of tweaking, but I'm okay with that. Okay, let's try and get this done then, in a similar way to the back, probably using the GSO section. Then, we can work on the front. Then, I can go have a nap. No. Adding this back section like that makes this look like a bad paper aeroplane. It makes the wings look way too thick and way too stubby because of that. So remove that, extend by 1. Still consider making this thinner, which is fine still for the overall look of the silos. Happy with the back, surprisingly. Getting less happy with the front. Oh, no, 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 no. I think I have just reached something. Yep, I think we have indeed just reached the build limit. Yep, I can't put this sideways. Well, at least we know how big our wings can be. Yeah, already prefer it like that. Massively. Okay, so, oops daisy. So, let's sort out how this is going to be. I could bring this in a little bit, then leave it flat. That's certainly a possibility. Could do it more like that, though. Could do it more like that, though. That does not work. That does not work at all. But we could do it like this. Where's the large variant? There it is. Huh. I do not know if I like that or not. I am completely 50-50 about this particular thing. I just don't know. And I can't place anything inside, can I? No, I can't. Certainly makes the end look interesting. I don't know if it makes it look good, though. I like that, though, having this wing larger than this wing. That's going to stay, so this is going to be cut off a little bit early. So essentially, we have 3 wing sections on each side, each of which is differing in size, but that's fine. Oh, and by the way, one weird thing. See this one single bracket there? This bracket is holding this entire wing up. Observe. Yep. So that needs to be fixed. One bracket on each side. Lose them both, you lose half of your craft. Have fun plummeting into the ground. Okay. Yeah, let's work with that. Let us work with that. Let's stop second-guessing everything, Lathrix. That looks okay. Okay. Oh, did I already do... Oh, I did that on that side. When did I do that? Well, good to know I have memory loss at this point. Then maybe do the smaller variant on this side to flip it back over. No, we could just leave that as it is. Or we could do... No, we can't do that. Okay, never mind. Could do this, though. No. Looks way too sharp at the end. That looks silly. But how about like that? Going for a bit of a triplane? You know what I mean. Biplane. A biplane look. There we go. That's what I was trying to say there. Oh, yep. I think we're going to end this soon because I'm going to go a little bit mad. Lathrix, where have the videos been? Well, commenter, I've been going slowly insane with my lack of sleep. That's where they've been. Had a lot of fun with this, though, despite the fact I've been confused 90% of the time. Yeah, I like how that's turned out. Okay. We can work with this. Still not 100% happy, but yeah, I can see the skeleton come together now. Cool. Very cool. Now, one thing I do want to say is I will be doing a full check before we make this into the campaign for anything like that. Just any flipped items, one side being heavier than the other. There's a lot of things I already know of, which is a problem, and quite a few I probably don't know of. So don't worry, I will find them all before we fully use this thing. Okay, let's see how this thing flies now. In terms of pitch, balanced. In terms of left and right, not. It's trying to constantly turn very slightly to the left, which means there's a weight distribution problem, or once again, some of these fins have been misplaced. Yeah, very, very slight. Or some of these rotors could be misplaced as well. I have to have a quick check of that. Well, I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's video. Honestly, I did want to get a little bit further than we have got, but I'm still happy with the end result. Considering this really isn't my style of building, I'm happy with how everything's turned out, and I have a lot of ideas now for the next video. And honestly, it's just been a lot of fun to mess around with. I did find a couple of issues when I was just checking now to see what was causing the tilt, but I'll finish those in the next video and just make sure they're no longer a problem. And I really hope you've all enjoyed. And of course, if you have, then likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next episode, I'm fairly certain we can finish off this design. Though saying that, I said that about the Nomad, and that took many, many episodes. But hopefully with this one, since it doesn't have weaponry or anything complex like batteries and shields, I think we can do that. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Next video soon, hopefully.